A suspect was involved in a high-speed chase in Los Angeles County after switching vehicles during a chase. The chase began on Wednesday afternoon, April 16, 2025, after the driver stole a red pickup truck in Downey. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies reportedly spotted the stolen vehicle, and a chase began. At one point, the suspect drove at least 90 miles per hour on Interstates 5 and 10, and at other times, drove erratically on the freeways. The suspect then stopped in East Los Angeles, where he, a passenger, and a dog jumped out of the red pickup truck. Authorities believe the passenger may have been a victim of the carjacking. A few minutes later, the suspect climbed into the back of a white pickup truck waiting in the area.
Yes, that is the mindset. As long as it's safe to do so, and the criteria for the pursuit, like we talked about, is met. The helicopters overhead are relaying information to the pursuing officers, such as cross traffic, traffic additions, like you just said, speed, direction of travel, all those things. So they're taking a lot off the pursuing officer's plate.
Here we go, Bruce. Looks like this vehicle's now coming to a stop.
Yes, and we're seeing the CHP vehicle behind it. If you could pull away, or 7, if you can pull away, exiting their vehicles there, both of them, LAPD and CHP.
Well, this would be fantastic if they can just bring this to an end. Again, you have a driver, an accomplice, and then the suspect, the initial suspect in the back. We assume or think only 2 in the car. Not sure if there are additional. So now, the situation, we have CHP, whether there was a phone call or whatnot, that vehicle was there waiting for this guy. So now we have at least 3 people in this Chevy. We'll see if there are additional. It looks like a woman there in the passenger seat.
And Bruce, walk us through what law enforcement on the ground are telling these people.
Basically, they're giving them instructions, very simplified instructions. In this case,
the new driver returned to the freeway but eventually stopped and surrendered on Interstate 710. When the new driver stopped, it appeared the original suspect, who had been riding in the back of the white pickup truck, was able to climb into the driver's seat and take off again. Authorities said a woman was still inside the white truck when the suspect drove off, making it a carjacking.
Oh,
no.
Great.
Okay. Well,
not what CHP wanted. Perhaps the suspect or that woman then taking over driving of this vehicle.
Well,
Yikes.
We don't know if the suspect was armed. There has been no word of that, but we don't know if there's any coercion underway. He was in the back cab. Again, making a lot of assumptions here because we just don't have those details. But it's interesting that they would have stopped to allow that driver to exit. It was the driver that exited.
It was the driver that exited.
And
it was not the suspect. And then we know there also at least is a woman in this Chevy as well. And notice here already the speed, that's quicker than the previous driver.
Seen. And maybe the driver was complaining and saying, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah.
And let me out. Again, making assumptions here, but that's a very good point you're making, Mark.
It would not surprise me.
The driving was very slow and intentional and methodical, and now we are seeing speeds climb.
Yeah, it would not surprise me, Bruce, if the suspect got back in the driver's seat. Oh, something thrown out the window there. Maybe a weapon, something, a couple things are being thrown out the driver's side window. It would not surprise me if this is the suspect, the initial suspect of that red truck now in the driver's seat of this car.
Yeah, and we're hearing from our desk that this white pickup truck is traveling 90 miles an hour. So the speeds definitely, now we have confirmation, have picked up.
Bruce, well, I'm not sure if you can tell, but that may have been the end of the freeway, the 710, because we were coming right towards, we were coming right there at the end of the 710, which is near Cal State LA, which I think would have been to the right if he would have gone. But this driver now on surface streets, which is a real concern, given the traffic, pedestrians, intersections and whatnot, always a heightened risk when these drivers of these pursuits get off the freeway. And now, wrong side of the road.
Westbound on Valley. We can tell you that.
Something changed on the freeway. Whether it was, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to give up. And the other people maybe are believing they're going to go back to jail for a longer period of time, said, you know what, we're not giving up. And, you just had some disagreements of the people in the vehicle. But, now there's speeds and they're driving.
And they just threw something else out.
That may have been just trash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, how about this possibility? The suspect who was in the back seat was thinking, hey, I don't like how you're driving. Stop, get out. I'm going to take over. Essentially is what happened.
It's possible. You had multiple people in the vehicle who obviously had a disagreement of how this was going to end with law enforcement.
And this might be getting back onto the freeway, but making a U-turn here. Again, kind of all over the road.
He was westbound on Valley. We're not sure which direction he is.
Yeah, our desk is doing a great job keeping us updated on the locations.
We don't have Sky Map, which we usually have the benefit of from Air 7. Don't have that today, but you can see the law enforcement chopper following as well. Just a moment ago, it appeared on the screen. And again, look at driving in the middle lane of traffic.
We're told this is Alhambra Street.
Fast. Okay, on Alhambra. And weaving in and out of lanes to pass slower cars.
And Bruce, when you have this, the way this driver is now maneuvering on the road, going down the wrong side, not following traffic laws, that changes everything. That once again re-escalates the situation on where law enforcement has to figure out how they're going to handle it, whether they pull back, whether they track, kind of changes their initial response earlier.
Very much so, because law enforcement doesn't want to force the suspect's hand, meaning, like you said, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. The speeds are way above what's posted for the speed limit area. The other thing, too, is, can you pit a vehicle this size? It's very difficult because that vehicle outweighs the patrol cars.
Yeah, and we're getting, he already blew through a stop sign. There's another one that he's blowing through. And, making these turns, it's probably not easy to see what's to come, what's ahead. If you have those pedestrians, you got a pedestrian there on the sidewalk.
Right there. And now, as he's going through residential areas or mixed-use areas, you will see more pedestrians and people out with their dogs. Sometimes we'll see suspects drive through neighborhoods they're familiar with. It's probably too early to determine if that's the case here, but he's certainly comfortable with the streets here in this area and continues to blow through intersections, not driving safely at all, putting everyone at risk, which is so common with these pursuits. And you just ran another stop sign.
Yeah, he's not stopping anywhere. He's been blowing through every stop sign that he's passed, and at times been pretty close to potential head-on collisions with other cars around these bends. There have been some close calls here with this driver, going to try to maneuver past this guy. And here's the problem. These drivers, like this silver SUV in front, they don't know what's going on. They just see this, what they probably think is a crazy guy coming up behind them. So certainly concerning for other motorists on the road. Air 7, if you could pull out just a bit to give us a view, if we have law enforcement, how far behind are they if they are trailing? See, this might be one of those tracking mode situations where they now have pulling back because it's off the freeway, but no doubt still following with the helicopter.
At this point, if I was the watch commander, I would probably request that the units go into a tracking mode or surveillance mode. Let the helicopters do their job.
Oh, look at this. Look at this, Bruce. He just went over a middle divider there onto another street. And now we don't know where he's on at this point. We'll try to get an update for you. But again, speeding. Wrong side of the road as he goes through the signal. Let's see. Yeah, no one is chasing him now. That's the last word from our assignment desk, according to the LAPD.
He's now on Huntington, and we actually are being told that police units are about a half mile away, and maybe that goes along with the surveillance right there through the middle, now wrong side of the road. Oh, you hate to see this. Yeah, you hate to see this kind of behavior.
Very dangerous.
Again, law enforcement about a half mile behind as they track where they are close enough to be there should this come to an end. They're not far behind, although they're not right behind this guy. They're still nearby.
Right, and this behavior alone, him driving against incoming traffic, is enough, I would think, for law enforcement to really try to put an end to this, as opposed to stopping altogether and pulling back.
And let me ask Air 7 if I can, are we able to get a view of the driver compartment area to see if we can see if this is the same guy from earlier who got out of that red pickup truck? And we see the arm there. The driving style the speed now, the way he's going across the road, it's certainly similar to what the situation was earlier when he was in the red pickup truck. So
we're hearing from Air 7, they are confirming it is the suspect that was in the red pickup truck.
Yeah. So he does have a female, at least one female passenger in this white Chevy now as well. So he's not alone in there. So whether she's now considered an accomplice as well, from what we've seen, she was never behind the wheel. She's been a passenger the entire time. So what her role in this is, how she knows this suspect, that is all to
they're now on Mission Road, and all of those things you're pointing out, Mark. We have very little information. We're sharing and we're giving you as much as we know, and all we know is that this started in the Downey area, off southbound 5, I believe, a stolen vehicle, that red pickup truck we saw earlier.
2500 heavy duty, and he's in areas that are very, very crowded right now. And the decisions he's making is actually making the streets smaller and smaller. On the freeways for a little bit, was up in off of Huntington Drive. You know, if you know that area up there, that's a big 4-lane road. But right now, looks like we're getting into smaller and smaller neighborhoods out here. Now we're in the Westlake area. Speeds slowed down. He was basically just kind of staying at 60 miles an hour on the wrong side of the road for a lot of that time. I can't imagine what the drivers that have had to get near this person were thinking when they have this big giant truck barreling down on them coming at them head on. Right now though, they backed off on all the vehicles that were chasing them. There is still a sheriff's ship overhead following him in the air, but all the units on the ground backed off, and I think that was a very wise move. Right now though, that truck is just, you know, probably knows that there's a helicopter above him, but as far as any vehicles behind him, lights and sirens, none of that's going on. And hopefully, and it does seem like it is working. Well, now I'm saying it, but now he's got back onto the wrong side of the road. They just want this guy to calm down a little bit. I think that's one of the big reasons why they do that, back off on the ground and go into a tracking mode. They just want that driver to relax and just kind of drive a little bit more safe. Right now, though, as far as anybody on the ground, there are none. But is it working? You can witness it with us right now. You can see it still keeping up those speeds up here, passing other vehicles. It's getting a little bit tighter. But as far as a destination, I really don't think this driver has a point that he's going to, because he's just been taking random turns, keeps this vehicle moving, hasn't made any attempt to drop it off anywhere. And I also kind of wonder, just because of the shape of the vehicle and the disarray that it may be in, I have a feeling that this person, that vehicle, very important to that driver. So I don't think that they're just going to abandon that vehicle and just run off like we've seen in the past. Right now, though, the pursuit's continuing. Is it a pursuit? It's more of a following, but that driver definitely running from the demons right now in his mind, because that reckless driving continues, high speeds, wrong side of the road, and of course, civilians all around him. This is getting very dangerous, and I have a funny feeling that this one might not end very well.
So, Stu, you cannot hear us, but I'm going to try to set some of the scene here. Oh, okay, can you hear me now, Stu? Okay, I guess you cannot. So we are following this. It is a white pickup truck. It looks like a work truck, but it sounds like the driver, this individual, got into this truck at a later time, because originally he was in a black SUV and there was a dog inside of that SUV. A passenger and the dog bailed. The SUV was parked in an encampment, and then this driver got into a white pickup truck, which you're seeing right there down below. And it sounds like, from what I understand, that perhaps this truck was there to help this individual out. They came to meet him, so he had another getaway vehicle. So we're still kind of trying to figure all this out. What matters, though, is how dangerous this person is driving on those streets. You see, it is crowded, it is busy. Obviously, there are pedestrians who come and go, right? And this person is driving recklessly, Stu. We've been watching this, and it really is making us nervous. And I can see why you're saying, you know, the police and the deputies chose to back off a little bit, and it's now in tracking mode. This is what we call it, when they give this individual some space, because he seems to be aggravated, and say that they don't want to make the situation more intense than it has to be.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons why they back off when they. I'm sorry, wrong button there. This is the reason why they back off on these when they do these chases, is because they want to basically let that driver kind of settle down a little bit, and hopefully not have that feeling that they're being chased. Right now, we're kind of trying to move Skyfox over a little bit. I have a feeling he's on 7th Street or Western. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wilshire. I just saw him making his way down that way between those two buildings. If he makes a turn onto one of the other streets, north or southbound, we're not going to be able to see him right now. We got to move Skyfox a little bit closer to downtown, making his way over to the buildings. I'm going to stay a little bit wider, and I'm trying to listen in on this on the scanner as well, but we've got everything stacked against us today up here in Skybox, but we're doing what we can, and we're going to make every effort to stay with it.
Okay, so I was trying, when you couldn't hear me, I was trying to kind of set the scene as to what we know so far with information we've been given. If I understand correctly, this is the white pickup truck that this person got into. Originally, he started in a different vehicle, correct?
Hope is a north-south. Yes, this is eastbound Holt, southbound Grand. Right now, I'm kind of trying to make my way to get a little bit closer to figure out exactly where this is.
Take your time.
Southbound on Grand, so that's Grand right there. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Eastbound 7th from Grand, so that means he's got to be right under us. He's right there. Because that's 7th Street and Grand. I do not see that pickup truck, but that is the northbound Olive. Let's see. That would be the Hope right there. Is that him? Are we sure that's him?
I think so. I think that is the vehicle.
That's not him.
No?
That's not him. Unless I'm looking at the wrong car.
It looks like the vehicle to me, but I could be wrong. I know that white pickup truck had a bunch of stuff in the trunk, so.
Yeah, this one.
Not that one.
This one does as well, but I'm telling you that wasn't the same pickup truck. This one is actually kind of pulling. That's not it either. So yeah, we're going to try to keep an eye on it, see if we can find it. I knew if they made their way over here to the downtown area, it would become a lot more difficult, especially to follow it. And I'm trying to listen in and see if maybe one of the sheriff's ship or the California Highway Patrol airplane that's out here as well could maybe give out some calls and figure out where this thing's at.
Police pursued a pickup truck in Los Angeles on Wednesday, April 16, 2025. And officials said the driver was wanted in a previous pursuit. California Highway Patrol officers are searching for a carjacking suspect who led authorities on a police chase through Los Angeles County on Wednesday. Just after 1 p.m., several people were reported inside a stolen vehicle, allegedly traveling north on Interstate 710 in East Los Angeles. That vehicle stopped on the side of the road, where at least one person got out and surrendered to police. However, another suspect jumped into the driver's seat of another vehicle, a white Chevrolet pickup truck, traveling north on Interstate 710. The driver was seen erratically driving on surface roads in the Echo Park/Westlake area, driving on the wrong side of the road several times. By 1:50 p.m., the driver was seen speeding along West 8th and Alvarado Streets, heading toward downtown Los Angeles. Once the truck reached downtown Los Angeles, police lost track of the suspect due to the dense urban area. Police continued their search for him via helicopter.